Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
All right, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Is Hannah. I'm 28, and my pronouns are her, she.
Okay, Hannah, and do you disagree with something on the board?
Um, and this is all about Trump stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think people believe that we had an election and people voted. And even though some people believe Trump is unfit to be president and everything, but he still is president in the end of the day. So shouldn't we give him the benefit of the doubt that he might fix it? Because like one president named like Clover Garfield, I think, he came in super corrupt and he ended up
Do you mean
doing things better for.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you mean Grover Cleveland or do you mean
Yes,
Okay, Grover Cleveland.
yeah, Grover Cleveland. He came in and he was super corrupt, but in the end he got people on his side to make sure that he did good things at the end of his term when he got into office, even though he started out corrupt, but he ended on a good note in the people's eyes.
Just to answer
I
your question,
truly
I
believe.
really quickly to answer your question, I did give Trump the benefit of the doubt. That was at the start of his first 4 years, and then he did nothing and was a terrible president. So I removed that benefit of the doubt for the next presidency because I've seen how he operates, I've seen the policies he pushes through, and I've seen the harm that those policies do.
Understandable. But do you understand that people might feel a sense of calm when he's in the office?
White people, yeah.
I did not.
Okay,
White
I
men
was stressed.
specifically, yeah. Go ahead, Alina.
white people.
No, I was hella stressed every day. I literally would have anxiety waking up every day to see what he tweeted, who he pissed off, who he was threatening. It was a very stressful time.
I understand your side of the conversation, but for me, I I feel like he he's a sense of calming for like the where I live at is like Ruby Red. And when Trump wasn't in office, it was just so much anger towards each other in my neighborhood, and everyone just hated each other. But when Trump became president again, people were kinder and nicer. So it's not. I feel like he's not unfit to be president because there's a sense of happiness that is in my neighborhood that gives me a sense of calming at night, knowing that no one's gonna hurt me because like Trump's in office. If Kamala would have been in office, I'm pretty sure most people in my neighborhood would have been more rude and nasty
Wait, I'm sorry.
and
I'm
got
sorry. It's a
to.
good thing Trump is in office because the people you know in your personal life are violent sociopaths who will hurt people if the person they don't like is president.
Well, that's how my neighborhood is, like in general. That's how like where my township is. My township's like that.
Uh, here's a question for you. What about the constant amount of people who are going to be directly hurt by Trump's policies? Does it just not matter for them?
I Are we talking about people that are like LGBTQIA? Like what type of group
The
of people are we talking
LGBTQ
about?
policy, the LGBTQ community is going to be hurt. The queer community is going to be hurt. The minority community is going to be hurt. Immigrants are going to be hurt. Anybody who's not a wealthy white man is going to be hurt. Women have already been hurt. How much constant people are going to face consequences by his policies because he doesn't care about the average person. He only cares about making sure his wealthy friends stay wealthy. Veterans are going to be hurt. Anybody on Medicare and Medicaid is going to be hurt because Republicans already talked about wanting to cut that. Disabled children in schools are going to be hurt because they want to remove the Department of Education, thus removing IEP and IEP funding. Like all of these people are going to be hurt because you voted for Donald Trump.
Is that in their next plan when they come back into session?
Yeah, they've been pretty upfront about this stuff. Yeah. In the Republicans' proposed budget for 2025, they said they want to cut Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. They want to remove the Department of Education funding. All of this stuff they want to cut.
I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't understand that. Like I just normally I think I'm gonna agree to this and say I'm ill-informed and uneducated because I have a tendency to just understand the atmosphere around me, and everything just seems so calm and relaxed, and that's why I just felt like maybe it was a good thing that he's in office. But the way that you're saying, it seems like we laid a groundwork of nothing but like harm that could come our way. And do you have anything that could stop it though? You know, any thoughts that could stop?
Well, what could have stopped it was not voting Trump into office and not giving Republicans power, like unilateral power. They control the Senate, they control Congress, they have a conservative leaning Supreme Court. Like that's what could have stopped it. There's nothing to stop it now, not unless we're all in the mood to start a little handy dandy revolution. It's already happened. I just think don't you think before you voted, you should have informed yourself on the policies of the side you're voting for?
Well, no, because I just thought, hey, my neighbor is having a rough time and she's not happy with Biden or Kamala. And like, there's just this, like, when I go to a gas station, they were just talking about how everything is just so bad that when I went back into the gas station after I voted, I felt like there was a calming and there was a peace because people were like happy and smiling. They weren't angry or disrespectful to anyone.
Can I answer your question? You're being 100% genuine right now, right?
Well, yeah, because like
you don't okay. I don't want to do the hand holding right now because I think hand holding right now is a bad thing. I can't. You're admitting that you were an uninformed voter and that you voted you voted because your neighbors seemed angry. This will directly harm multiple communities, right? Because you decided that the only thing that mattered was, is my neighbor happy?
Well, not only my neighbor, just my community in general was like very unhappy, very angry, very.
What's the demographics of your community? What's the demographics like?
It's white.
Older white, younger white.
They're more older white. I live in an area where it's like suburbs area where
a little bit wealthier.
Are older.
A little bit wealthier. They have a bit more money.
Yeah, most likely, yeah, because like I'm around big houses and everything.
Okay, so do you think that there might have been that it might have been the case that your community, which is older, white, wealthy, might not have been indicative of the whole the country as a whole?
Does that mean that the CDR was up?
I guess. Like, are you saying that my community is like special?
I'm saying your community is a microcosm of America as a whole. America is a mix and blending of multiple different communities and multiple different intersections of different identities. And instead of looking at one of the things I dislike the most about conservatives is when we're looking at policies and we're looking at implemented policies, what we should be looking at is looking at the person who is on the lowest rung of the social ladder and how will this policy affect them. I don't care how policies will affect billionaires. I don't care how policies will affect 100,000aires. I care how policies passed are going to affect people who are poor, people who are minority groups. What is going to affect the minority of people, and how hard will they be hit in order for the group that's been in power to maintain their power and wealth? And I think this is an issue when we look at voting, because no one cares about these people. Nobody does. And we allow, like, we voted. Do you know that Trump wants to throw homeless people into camps? Like he wants to concentrate homeless people into camps. He wants to make homelessness criminally illegal. And then if they don't go to prison, they go into camps against their will.
Well, some things I hear Trump say, but then again, I feel like sometimes he's just so out there that it's just like, I'll believe it when I see it, you know?
Shouldn't we not vote into office somebody who's so out there that his ideas sound insane?
I've been with more sane individuals than him, so it's not that bad.
It's not that bad for who?
I guess for me, I guess.
So you
Because
decided to vote selfishly. You said, I'm only going to vote in my best interest and ignore everybody else that might be suffering.
Well, my community as well. I was thinking about my community and me too.
Will your community suffer when Medicaid and Medicare gets cut? What about Social Security? Will your community suffer when that gets cut?
I have no idea because, like, I don't know the lives of everyone in my community, but I just knew the aura around it was just bad because they just were so nasty and mean to each other, but they're not anymore.
We can't make politically informed decisions off of aura points. Okay, I just want to be so upfront about this. We can't say, I'm going to vote off of aura, off of vibes, off of what seems the best. We need to actually look at policies being implemented from the top down and see how they affect us from the bottom up. So when Trump says things like, I want to make it illegal to be homeless and either throw you in prison or throw you in a camp, that's important because it's going to harm a lot of people, veterans included. When Trump and the Republicans say things like, I want to cut the Department of Education and I want to gut it and I want to get rid of it, this is important because multiple disabled kids who have autism, kids who have Down syndrome, kids who have just a harder time learning, kids with dyslexia, kids who have behavioral issues, they have things called IEPs, and the Department of Education helps fund IEPs and things like that. The Department of Education helps so that we can make sure that schools are staying up to the standards that they need to make sure these children have the proper education. But that wants to be gutted. Trump has said he wants to gut it. Fucking Ramaswamy, who's now the head of a made-up position, the Department of Government Efficiency, wants to cut it. They've said they want to cut these things. And that will affect children from it's not going to affect, it probably isn't going to have super effect on children who like are from an affluent white household who can go to private school, but it's really going to affect kids who come from like inner city schools where the funding for their schools is so low. Now you want to gut funding from there too. You want to cut Medicaid and Medicare. What's cutting Medicaid going to do except make it so that poor people who don't have health care now can't get, who only can rely on Medicaid for health care now can't see doctors at all because you've gutted their only way of health insurance. People over 65 who get put on Medicare because they're not working a job, so they have to have retirement plans, are now screwed because we want to gut Medicare and stop covering things because you refused to actually look at the policy positions of the people you voted for.
Oh. You know, you have a point here, and I can't debate anymore because I'm going to throw in a towel. accept that I've been defeated, because with what you gave me lets me know I did make a bad choice. I truly thought it was going to work out great because of my surroundings, but I realized that my surroundings isn't like everyone else's. So I do appreciate this time, really do. And I hope you guys have a good, wonderful day. And thank you so much for having your perspective. And next time I will look up the policies and I will try to understand everything. But politics is just so difficult sometimes to understand.
All right. Well, you have a good one then.
You too. Bye.
Bruh.
I'm not giving you a cookie for realizing that you fucked up.